What's up, guys? Welcome to Pound for Pound House. Today we're going to be talking about UFC 295. We're going to be breaking down the main card and giving predictions on each fight. And if this is your first time on the channel, please consider subscribing. Also, like this video, comment below, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you can see all the new videos I upload. All right, guys, let's get into it. Lopez versus Sabatini. Both great fighters. Lopez coming off of a victory. Lopez also fought Ivoyev, and man, was that a close fight. I mean, he almost submitted him, but you know, the bell rang. But that was a really close fight, especially coming into the fight on a short notice. So hats off to Lopez for that. Sabatini, I think he just won his last one recently against Almeida in a submission. I think these guys are both grapplers for the most part. I see that Lopez is the underdog, being that I feel like he's also the newer guy into the promotion. But if I was going to go with somebody, I really feel like Lopez, especially after that Ivoyev fight, I feel like he's shown so much heart. And he's got the body shape as well. He's tall, he's long, he's rangy, and his grappling is really good. So this is going to be an interesting fight, but if I had to go with somebody, I'm definitely going to go with Lopez, even though he's the underdog. So next up, Matt Frivola versus Benoit Saint-Denis. Hope I said that right. When it comes to these two, honestly, this is just a barn burner fight. I mean, these guys, I don't know if I even see this fight going past the first round. I mean, these guys are going to come in there swinging and banging. So, it's really hard to say at this point because Matt Frivola has been tearing through all his opponents. Benoit's been tearing through all his opponents. So, it's really hard to say that, it's one over the other. I mean, both amazing fighters. Super dangerous. This one's kind of like, I feel like it's more up in the air for me. It's interesting to see that Matt's the actual underdog. I get it because Benoit's been on a tear and he's been like, I believe he's undefeated right now in the UFC. So that's probably why. But any one of these guys landing, I mean, man, it's over. I mean, Benoit's a bigger guy. He's 5'11", 73-inch in reach. Obviously, a little bit, those things do matter. But I'm going to say, because Matt's a New York guy, and I'm from New York, so I got to go with Matt Frivola. It's kind of a bias. This is a biased one. I really feel like he's going to take it. I think, but at the same time, like I said earlier, or like I always say, they always have a puncher's chance. Anybody can take it. It's anybody's game, especially when you're just swinging out there. I guess it really comes down to who's more technical in this fight. So, but if I had to lean to somebody, that's only because of my biased opinion, I'm going to say it's Matt Frivola. Moving into Jessica Andrade versus Mackenzie Dern. So, Jessica Andrade has been on a losing streak. Last 3 fights she lost. One was to, I believe, Tatiana Suarez submission. Then she also lost from a TKO, I believe. And she also lost from another submission previously. I think it was all in the same year. So she's been pretty active, but unfortunately there have been losses for her. Obviously she's an amazing fighter still, and she's she has power in her hands. I mean, she can put it on you. She hits you, you know, there's a chance you're going down. Mackenzie, on the other hand, if she uses her jiu-jitsu, I mean, her path to victory in this case would be just using her jiu-jitsu. I mean, getting her down and, you know, submitting her. I mean, I remember in early days she used to strike, but I think in this case with Jessica Andrade, she has to grapple. She has to take the fight to the ground. She has to try to submit her. I think that's really the way she can get it done. And then for Jessica Andrade, she has to keep it standing, and just take her out standing. That's the best option, I think, for her. But these guys are both dangerous. These ladies are both dangerous, stand up, or, I mean, they're both super dangerous. So this is going to be an interesting fight, but I would say Mackenzie Dern definitely is I feel like the favorite in this one. Even though the odds are not really out for this yet. But I think at the same time, I kind of also look at it though. Jessica Andrade, she might have something to prove. I mean, 3 losses, that's rough. You know, somebody coming off of 3 losses is really gonna be looking to get a win this time. 4 in a row, that's tough. You know, that'd be rough for her. Not everybody's Tony Ferguson, you know. Keep taking losses and still getting, you know, a chance to fight. So, I don't know. She might have a different motivation this time coming into the fight. So, this is gonna be interesting. But yeah, if I had to choose, I think it's Mackenzie Dern. I think she does it by submission, and I think she's probably gonna get her in the second round. Probably feel her out the first round, see how, you know, see what power's coming her way. And I think the second round she gets it done. All right, now to the co-main event of the evening. Tom Aspinall versus Sergey Pavlovich. So here I have a little like theory, or I have like something that I feel like about Tom Aspinall. And I'm not like a, you know, Tom Aspinall fanboy or anything like that when I'm saying this. I think Tom Aspinall is the second coming of John Jones in the heavyweight division, because he's just so well-rounded. He has all the tools, ground, strike, wherever the fight goes, he can adjust. On the other hand, fighting somebody like Sergey Pavlovich with that type of power coming his direction, I don't know how he's going to be able to handle that, or if he can weather that storm. But this is it's a super interesting fight. Sergey did have a loss early in his career from Alistar Overeem by submission. So I think that even though Tom didn't have too much time to prepare, I think he was saying early in his press conference too, he was saying that, you know, he didn't really get a chance. He didn't really prepare. 2 weeks is not enough time. Which, you know, I agree. But I think that this case, Tom Aspinall gets it done, and the only reason why I say that is because of him being so all well-rounded. I think if he weathers the storm in the first round, if he gets through those punches coming his way, that, you know, that power coming his way, maybe he can gas out Sergey, you know, because once the blood starts filling up in the muscles, maybe the second round, you know, Sergey might not be coming with that same intensity. He might not be that, you know, maybe not even as that strong. I mean, that's a possibility. That's if he could weather the first round storm. Or what he probably can do is chop his legs out right off the bat in the first round, and keep his distance as much as he can, kind of weather the storm that way, weaken him up, and then the second round bring him down to the ground and kind of submit him. That's probably his road to success. When it comes to Pavlovich, I mean, his road to success is just what we all know. Go in there swinging and just take out everybody like he has before. I mean, both these guys, I don't think they got more than like 5 minutes of fight time in either of their fights, which is nuts. So this is going to be an insane fight. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with Tom Aspinall. It's crazy because a lot of people, like all the people that I talk to or friends that I have, they all been saying the same. They're all saying that, Sergey got this. And I think they all just focus too much on his power and him just, because he's a great boxer. He can box. I mean, he has hands. The guy can strike. But I think everybody's just too focused on that and not the other aspect of the game. You know what I mean? I feel like just like this is an MMA fight. So there's so many different elements you can, so many different elements and so many different ways you can fight and win the fight. I feel like that has to be that's how we got to look at it. So I think that in this case, same goes for Pavlovich. He's only had 2 weeks to prepare, just like Tom. So whatever 2 weeks, the 2 weeks that they use, and let's see who prepared better. But my money's on Tom. I think he's the guy who gets it done, and I think he also gets it done in a submission. What I would really love to see, because this is the strangest thing of all, I still don't get it, how they're fighting for an interim title, but John Jones is going to come back and fight Stipe, which doesn't make any damn sense. If it makes sense to any of you guys, let me know how that works, because I clearly don't understand it. But yeah, I would love to see Tom Aspinall versus John Jones. That would be a very interesting and technical fight. And if I think Tom Aspinall gets it done, if he gets it done this Saturday, aside from John Jones, I don't see anybody beating him. I don't think anybody else has it. I don't think Almeida even, as Almeida passed last weekend, we kind of saw with Almeida, he was being very one-dimensional. I mean, he's a boxer, but all he did was just wrestle. And he didn't do anything with wrestling. It was unfortunately, it was a boring fight. Kind of just sat on top of him most of the fight. And there was actually one point where he was kind of like ground and pound hitting him. And it was working, but I don't know why he didn't continue with it. I guess, I don't know if he was tired. He's never been there to that many rounds maybe, but yeah. That was I don't see anybody else really taking out Tom Aspinall, so I think he takes it. I think he gets it done this Saturday. My money's on him, but we'll see. And now for the main event of the evening. Yuri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira. Man, this is going to be an interesting fight. Yuri got one of the weirdest styles. Alex, glory kickboxer, champion, beat Izzy 3 times, beat Jan. I don't know. This one is really interesting because we're gonna see how the year layoff for Yuri works for him or against him. We're gonna see how much that really affected him, or has he gotten better? I think I was watching something. They were saying that he's hitting harder than before, which is interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, Yuri Yuri has the takedowns. I mean, he also submitted Glover, which was an insane matchup, insane fight. If you missed that fight, you need to go watch it. That fight was nuts, absolutely crazy. Um, I like Yuri. I like Alex. It's kind of hard to say who's gonna get, where it goes. Alex obviously has some crisp striking. We all know he can take out the legs. That kickboxing is there. Now against Yuri Prochazka, who has this strange style, how does that kickboxing work? Is it too overwhelming for Alex? Or is Alex too overwhelming for Yuri? I think that if you look at to step away from this fight for a second and explain why I'm stepping away. If you look back at the fight with Izzy, and he's a kickboxer with Sean Strickland. Strickland kept the pressure on him, kept him on his back foot. So, I mean, we can say whatever we want about how, maybe Izzy wasn't, himself in that fight, whatever we want to say. But the fact is that he was being pressured by Sean, and Sean was landing, and Sean won. He basically found a chink in his armor. When it comes to Alex, he's also a kickboxer, right? So he's a glory kickboxer, and obviously he's an amazing fighter. So I'm wondering if that same tactic, if Yuri's also thinking that, hey, if I keep him on his heels, he might not know how to respond to that pressure, or he might not be able to handle that pressure, especially since Yuri's style is very, very weird, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what approach he takes. I mean, he can also just take him down, right? And we also are yet to see if Alex has really, really improved his ground game or not. Which I think he probably did. I mean, he's been working with Glover. How could he not, right? But once again, I keep going back to that strange style of his. It's gonna be very interesting to watch these guys go at it. I mean, they're both tall guys. They're both got long lengths, arm lengths. I think Yuri's 80-inch reach, and Alex is a 79-inch reach. These both guys are long rangey. It's gonna be something. I mean, also we got a question: can Alex's chin handle, the power coming his direction? We gotta say. I mean, he did handle Jan pretty well. The Polish power, but I don't know. There was something really crisp landing on Alex, I feel like, in his fight with Jan. I think Yuri, with his strange style, he's going to be able to land a lot more significant strikes, I feel. But ultimately, his road to victory, I think, is probably what we're all thinking. It's probably going to be grappling, taking him to the ground. And it's very interesting because a lot of people they have him as the underdog. Not by a big number, but it's not like a huge difference. But it's not by a big number he's an underdog, but still, the fact that he's an underdog, it's interesting to see that. I mean, I think because Alex, like I said earlier, Alex won his last fight with Jan, and he was able to handle Jan, so that could be it. And then also, like I said, Yuri's layoff. It's gonna be interesting to see. So this one's in the air. I mean, it's tough to say. like both guys. They're both great guys, both amazing fighters. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, because I'm a little bit, confused on this. I mean, not necessarily confused, but just more like, I don't know which way to go with this. I don't know. But if I was forced and I had no choice and I had to give an answer and I had to say like, hey, you gotta pick one, I'll go with Yuri. I'll go with the underdog. Yeah. Leave a comment down below on other fights you might want me to break down or videos you might want me to react to. Of course, in the fighting world. But thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.